The fake news doesn't want to say it. We will always protect pre-existing conditions. Very important. And by the way, we got rid of the individual mandate, the worst part of Obamacare, and we almost had it repealed and replaced, but we had one man that after campaigning for 8 years, he decided to go thumbs down at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's all right. But we'll end up with even better because we have plans that are even better than that. So that's good. Sometimes when you have adversity, it works out actually better.
My guests are Kristen Soltis-Anderson and Jessica Tarloff. Jessica, let's look at the Democratic field. Joe Biden is in the race. He's jumped out to a pretty large lead in the polls. Is he beatable?
He's definitely beatable. It's so early in this. As you said, 37 weeks out. I think the primary debates will do a lot to tell us about where we are in this race. His margins in Iowa and New Hampshire are slimmer than one might expect for the huge national bump, but he's super strong in South Carolina.
What do people like about Biden? Is it him or is it the fact that they think he can beat Trump?
I think they like that. They think he can beat Trump, and they like the Obama association. Going into the midterms, it was the #1 thing people were looking for in their candidates if they had served with Obama in some way or another. Obama is gold to Democrats right now. And when you look at how Biden is polling with African American voters as compared to Kamala Harris, it's actually her group, you see him well out ahead there, and which is causing her a lot of heartache in South Carolina at the moment.
Kristen, which of the Democrats strikes fear into Republicans' hearts right now?
Oh, tell us.
Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, I think right now Joe Biden presents such an interesting potential threat because he still does seem to be able to speak the language of that Obama-Trump voter, somebody who was so crucial, especially in those blue wall states. I think that's why you're seeing so many sort of prominent Republicans in the last couple of weeks begin kind of training their fire on him and presidential tweets and what have you. I think Biden is formidable. I think if you look at the last 2 presidential cycles where you had a party that had a very large number of candidates. In 2016, you had frontrunners in folks like Jeb Bush, but I use that term frontrunner very loosely, who sort of fell off by the time the first debate had happened, and it was kind of Trump in the lead from there on. I actually think the 2012 Republican primary provides an interesting comparison. You had Mitt Romney in kind of the Biden seat, commanding about a third of the party, maybe a little less in Romney's case, but he hung in there, even as a very crowded field. There was lots of churn. Rick Santorum wins Iowa, Newt Gingrich wins South Carolina, other people picking off individual states, but Romney kind of holding on to his core constituency and just slowly but surely growing it as they approached the convention and wound up hanging on.
Jessica, the rap on Biden is that he's been running for president since William McKinley was president. I mean, he's been around in politics for a very long time. Half a century he's actually been in politics. Is it possible that will weigh against him and that the people are looking for a fresh face? And if Democrats are looking for a fresh face, who of the fresh faces is the most plausible?
Well, there's certainly a lot of footage of Joe Biden making mistakes on the trail. He's lost running for president twice before, though he's part of this Democratic ticket with
Dropped out
Obama.
the first time because he plagiarized a British politician.
And you see Bernie Sanders already going after him for things like the crime bill, which Bernie Sanders also voted for, which seems absurd to me to go after him for. There's a lot more footage of it, and when you look at Democratic polling, it shows people don't want someone over 75 years old to be doing this. They are looking for a fresh face. But the #1 issue is the electability question, and you have nearly 60% of Democratic voters
Just quickly, do you think Mayor Pete Buttigieg, is he electable? Is he plausible?
I think anyone right now, I don't want to say is implausible.
Right.
But you have seen kind of, he had that ascendancy after his CNN town hall, great fundraising, and now he's kind of leveled out. He's around there with Kamala and Elizabeth Warren, and you see Bernie and Biden up there at the top. Obviously, this can all shift, but I'm not sure America is ready to elect.
We've got to wrap, Kristen, but quickly, if you would, if it's not Biden, which of the other candidates do you think is the most likely, the most electable, or the ones who could possibly beat Trump?
So I think Kamala Harris is very interesting because sort of is in that sort of second tier of major leaders who they're right behind Bernie and Biden, and she's maintained. I think she had a good rollout. So I would keep my eye on her if the Biden train doesn't wind up working.
Well, that was a terrific discussion.